Hey, bro.
Hey, sis.
What's wrong?
I can't understand thermodynamics. I don't understand how water becomes steam, or how pressure and temperature are related to each other, or how anything works for that matter. I don't know how I'm going to pass this class.
Relax, bro. I got you. Let me take you to my workplace. As I always say, the best way to learn about anything is to go to a nuclear power plant.
What? Oh!
Hey, Mr. Gruffalo.
Oh, hello there. What a nice morning for you to come by. I will be there in a second. So, what do I owe your present surprise?
I'm giving my brother a tour of the station to teach him about thermodynamics. Would you like to help?
Why, yes, of course. I will talk via the phone as you two go along your journey. So, where are we going? I am glad you asked, my boy.
Let's go. He'll explain on the way.
Okay. Today, you will start by going up to the reactor, then up further to the steam generator. After that, you will pass by the steam turbine, and then finally visit the condenser. Sweet. Sounds easy enough. Whatever you say, my boy. Is he always like this?
Dude, be polite. And here is the reactor face.
Ah, it looks like a giant pin screen. I bet I could touch it. I wouldn't do that if I were you, my boy. 'Tis very hot. Nuclear power plants are simply large tea kettles where water is boiled to make electricity. It all starts with a uranium atom that is split using a neutron. Each split generates additional neutrons that then split even more uranium atoms. The process is called nuclear fission, and it generates an enormous amount of heat. The heat is removed from each fuel bundle by circulating water through the reactor. Now, go on to see what happens next. That was a lot of stairs. So, what's this?
That's the steam generator.
Indeed it is. The heat from the reactor is exchanged with the water loop in a separate secondary loop. This causes the water to become superheated steam as it absorbs the immense heat of the reactor. Usually the water in the primary loop is as hot as 315 degrees Celsius. The steam generator is a steady state system because it is a rigid tank. I hope. Meaning that it has fixed control volume with outlets and inlets. Therefore, all the mass that goes in must go out. Only energy is exchanged within the two loops. Cool, but what is superheated steam? I am glad you asked. To answer that, we must look at a TV diagram. This diagram relates temperature on the y-axis and volume on the x-axis. It shows the different phases of a pure substance, revealing when it will become a solid, a liquid, or a gas. What about plasma? That is above my pay grade, my boy. Call the fusion boys and girls in France for that one. Moving on. A way to understand this diagram is to imagine a container with water, with a lid sealing it in. This means that the pressure is kept constant. Like this. In state 1, the water is all liquid. Adding heat will cause the molecules to move. This phase is called subcooled or compressed liquid. At state 2, the water is about to vaporize. Any additional heat will cause it to become steam. This is saturated liquid state. At state 3, as more heat is added, more liquid becomes steam. This means that more water molecules become energized. The temperature and the pressure of the container remains constant. This state is called the saturated liquid and vapor mix, since there is a mixture of liquid and vapor. At state 4, all matter has become vapor, and will condense back to liquid if the heat is removed. This is called the saturated vapor phase. And to finally answer your question, this is state 5, known as the superheated vapor state. The addition of more heat at the previous state will cause the temperature of the steam to increase. This is the type of steam that generated at a nuclear power plant and other thermal power stations. Wait a minute. I get why the secondary loop becomes steam, but why doesn't the water from the primary loop turn into steam if you said that the reactor heats it up to 315 degrees Celsius? Shouldn't it boil at 100 degrees? An excellent question, my boy, and for that you need to see the pressurizer. Off you go.
Well, here we are. That's the pressurizer.
Huh, it's huge. But how does it answer my question, and what does it do? One question at a time, my boy. This TV diagram shows different phase diagrams at different pressures. By keeping water at a higher pressure, we can raise the temperature without it becoming vapor. At one point, if we keep it under enormous pressure, then the water will simply be indistinguishable from the gas. This is called the critical point, and for water it is at 375.95 degrees Celsius and 22.06 megapascals. So the pressurizer is what allows the water to stay liquid when it cools the reactor. Sort of like a pressure cooker? Precisely! The reason why we need to do this is because the specific heat capacity, which is the capacity of a material to store thermal energy, is much higher for water than vapor. This allows us to extract more reactor heat to produce more energy. So, here is how it works. A pressurizer contains a saturated vapor mix of water from the primary loop. The pressure can be decreased by spraying water at the top to condense the steam, or increase it by using electric heaters at the bottom of the tank. Now off you go to the turbine hall.
Hey, voila! This is the turbine hall.
Oh, it's quite loud and big. So, how does this work? The superheated steam from the steam generator flows past the turbine blades, causing them to spin, while the steam expands and cools. The spinning turbine blades are then connected to a shaft, which then spins a generator to generate electricity. Also, my boy, the turbine, which is a steady-state system, converts the potential energy of the steam into rotating kinetic energy. And where does that steam go afterwards? To the condenser, my boy. Go on. Where are we?
We are outside one of the cooling loops of the condenser that is currently under maintenance.
Huh. And, why is there a crab below? Oh my god, he has a knife. You shall never get me! Good question, my boy. A condenser converts the steam back to subcooled water by using a third loop, called feed water, from a nearby lake or ocean. The water is then pumped back into the steam generator. I am so tired from all the stairs.
The reactor is 47 meters tall. That's more than a blue whale. Many nuclear workers climb this amount of stairs every day.
Huh, I didn't know nerds exercised.
Dude, you're a nerd.
Indeed. Sure. Well, thanks. I learned a lot from this tour, and I think I'm going to pass my thermodynamics course. Now, I cannot believe that I learned engineering from a monster.
Dude, that's rude.
Remember, my boy, I am a Gruffalo, and while you may be a nerd, I am nerdier than you! Ha! To-the-do!
Haha, bird.
Damn.